Hello and welcome. You're watching NewsX and I'm Shivani Singh. Well, if you thought that the global security landscape couldn't get any more volatile, think again. Because in the world of geopolitical risk, second in command of a global terror outfit is arguably the most hazardous job description on the entire planet. And today, ISIS has just lost its latest runner-up. Late on May 15th, US President Donald Trump took to Truth Social to drop a massive counter-terrorism headline. Abu Bilal Al-Minuki, the global second-in-command of ISIS and a man that the White House is calling the most active terrorist in the world, has been permanently removed from the active roster. Now, President Trump noted that Al-Minuki thought that he could successfully hide in Africa. As it turns out, joint intelligence assets had a front row seat to his entire itinerary. He will, and I am quoting here, no longer terrorize the people of Africa or help plan operations to target Americans. Now, Trump has asserted that the removal of such a senior leader would disrupt the group's ability to coordinate attacks and also manage its international operations. Let's break down this surgical precision of what went down in the Lake Chad Basin and why this represents a catastrophic administrative bottleneck for global networks. Now, this was a flawlessly executed, meticulously planned, and highly complex joint operation between the US forces and the armed forces of Nigeria. Nigerian president has also officially confirmed the operation, providing key tactical gravity to this entire announcement that was made by Trump on Truth Social. Now, according to Abuja, Al-Minuki didn't go down alone, however. He was neutralized alongside several of his top lieutenants during a precision strike directly on his heavily fortified compound in the Lake Chad Basin. Now, let's inject some cold, hard data into this conversation, because for those keeping track of the military leisure, the Pentagon has been very quietly laying down the groundwork for this specific outcome for months. Following a series of US airstrikes targeting Islamic State camps in Nigeria on Christmas Day last year, Washington then deployed advanced surveillance drones and a contingent of 200 troops to West Africa. Officially, they were operating in a strictly non-combat intelligence sharing role. And now we see exactly how handsomely that intelligence has just paid off. Well, so who exactly was Abu Bilal Al-Minuki? Let's trace the resume of a global threat. Al-Minuki was a Nigerian national who systematically climbed the ranks of global jihad to become the operational maestro of ISIS's modern ambitions. Back in 2023, the former Biden administration officially slapped him with the specially designated global terrorist label. But he wasn't just a regional figurehead playing hide and seek in the Sahel. Al-Minuki actually belonged to the ISIS's highly secretive General Directorate of Provinces office. Now, think of this as the corporate headquarters of global terror, the vital administrative and logistical body explicitly tasked with providing operational guidance, strategic directives, and millions of dollars in funding to franchisees worldwide. So he was basically the hub. Now, by eliminating him, the joint US-Nigerian forces didn't just prune a branch, they have effectively decapitated the global treasurer and chief operating officer of the network. Now, there is also a very fascinating layer of diplomatic irony to unpack here. Just last fall, US President Donald Trump was heavily criticizing Nigeria, publicly accusing the country of failing to deal with the rampant violence against Christian populations in the Northwest. Now, the Nigerian government very strongly, in fact, pushed back against those claims that were made by US President Donald Trump and maintained that their security forces in fact target armed insurgencies indiscriminately. Whether those groups harm Christians or Muslims, they do not discriminate. Now fast forward to today, and we are witnessing a master class in pragmatic military cooperation. It seems that nothing repairs a strained diplomatic relationship quite like a mutually agreed upon precision guided missile. Well, while the White House actually declares that the ISIS's global operations are now greatly diminished because of this operation also, the broader strategic reality remains uniquely nuanced. Yes, there is a ISIS. Yes, I believe that ISIS is a shadow of its 2017 self, but when we look at its geographical or physical caliphate across Iraq and Syria, we can say that the virus somehow has mutated, actively spreading its venom across Burkina Faso, across Mali, across Niger, and also northern Nigeria. Now, Al-Minuki's death structurally disrupts the financial pipeline. But history has warned us that the number 2 spot in these organizations has incredible high turnover rate with plenty of radicalized applicants waiting in the wings. So for now, the message echoing from Washington to Abuja is crystal clear. Geography is no longer a shield. If you're financing, plotting, and orchestrating global terror, your coordinates are merely a matter of time. Abu Bilal Al-Minuki spent years managing chaos, and tonight he is a finished case study. Keep watching this space for more. We'll come back with more updates.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.